Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the House of Moody Vintage. Thank you for joining me here. It's episode 24. Going to 25. We're going to the quarter century mark. Very excited. I'm hyped today. I'm like in a really good mood. Very good, positive vibes. I've been listening to Paula Abdul all day. Paula Abdul is, for those kids who don't know, she's the OG, triple OG Laker girl who became a freaking pop star and just one of the many celebrity crushes back in the day in the late 80s, 90s, hit songs, she was a proper star, man. So huge shout out, special shout out to Miss Paula Abdul, who was drop dead gorgeous, incredibly talented, and just a wonderful human being. Sweetest human being. I've never met her, but I'm just saying, you would not hear or read about anything that's so far off, so scandalous, and, just something that's so negative about Paula Abdul, okay? She's a national treasure. I love her to death, okay? He's a cold-hearted snake, look into his eyes. Sorry. That's one of her very various hits. Just go to Spotify and just type in Paula Abdul, okay? Great hits. I love it. I've been listening to it all day. I'm very in a Paula Abdul mood right now, in a good mood right now. So, just brought my spirits up. Not that it was down, but, it's like a bonus. It's like an extra bonus. And that's what it was. Today, by the way, I know it's a Tuesday, but my friends and I just pretty much treated Tuesday as a weekend. Okay, we sort of like played off of last weekend, which wasn't crazy, but we did go out. We had the usual, went to dinner, had a few drinks, had like 4 glasses of wine. This is over the weekend, by the way. I think it was on Friday night. Was it Friday? Friday. Yeah, we went to this izakaya place, Japanese joint. I think it was an Ari. It was an Ari here in Bangkok. And, we just, just good time. We got with a couple of friends and, shared about 4 or 5 glasses of wine, I think. And, but before that, we had a joint and, we lit one up and, over here you find really good kush. Like it's quality ass kush. You know what I'm saying? LA kush, by the way. I'll get to that in a bit. So we had a joint before we left because we're like, you know what? We're gonna grub. It's gonna be some good food. So why not? So my friend and I, we, as per usual, got ourselves some good weed, and had a good time. Had a really good time. And just we were so. It's some potent stuff, okay. And we were having a really good time. Went to the restaurant, had the food, had the drinks, and on the way to the bar after the restaurant, my friend and I were like, well, you know what? Hey, because there was a dispensary on the way to the bar. So we're like, maybe we should drop by. Let's buy another joint. And, over here, it's just dope because, people here they'll just roll one up for you, with a price, of course, get a nice little gram. And there was LA Kush. Homeboy had LA Kush. Ain't nothing like LA Kush. You know what I mean? Like Cali Kush is just different level. Now, okay, we're not stoners. I'm just, okay. Because it might sound like I'm not, okay? I just appreciate, this legal thing, by the way, legal, okay? We never thought that there would be, dispensaries like at every corner and we just roll up, have a dude, buy a gram and then have a dude roll it up for us. You know what I mean? So, so we had some really strong, potent ass kush and we decided to and we can smoke there. So it's like, it's not illegal either. It's legal as well. And that of course built our appetite even more. And we were so far gone, did not even realize what was happening when we walked into the bar. Our friends who did not join us, our other friends who did not join us, on the way to the bar, they were probably fine. They were, enjoying their cocktails or whatever. And they smelt it like, they were just doing their thing, and we walked in totally high off our minds, didn't know what was going on. And we were just enjoying ourselves. So it's not our fault, bruh. And and we didn't realize how loud we were being. Well, I mean, it was a lot of music. There was a lot of music there at the bar, and a lot of conversation. So it wasn't that loud. But I had ordered a cocktail. I had another drink, but I liked it, appreciated it, but we were just so far gone. I'm not gonna lie, it was the greatest high of my life this past weekend. On Friday, that LA Kush just set it over. I think I just had maybe too much, you know what I mean? But it was one of those really feel good shit, Anyways, yes. Let's be grateful and appreciative of, appreciative of having a good time and being blessed, because let's face it, there's so many places in the world don't have the comfort that we have, and are not as privileged as us. So we're just incredibly grateful for that. So thank you, the universe, for such gifts. Grateful for it. Anyway, so that basically rolled on to this Tuesday, which is today. Got back home from again we went to get some Italian food, Italian, Italian, Italiano. And we had the pasta and the vino and everything. It was really nice, really good, molto bene, bellissimo. And again, we had the vino, 5 glasses, I don't remember. But after that, we also had sangria. I don't know why they had sangria. I don't know why was that? It's kind of, I don't know. I guess it was just like an added bonus thing. We don't usually see that at Italian restaurants, or maybe I just didn't pay attention. But you just don't see that at Italian restaurants. I don't know. Maybe that's just me talking. I don't know. I'm just, it's weird. Spanish place, yes, I get it. But yeah, this was an Italiano place, but whatever. We were like, okay, sangria, let's have the picture. So we had the picture and a couple of glasses of that as well. Had a really good time. And then after that, we went to this dark chocolate place, like a chocolate bar kind of place, where everything was like dark chocolate, from drinks, hot chocolate, alcohol infused stuff, and cocktails with dark chocolate. It was fantastic. It was great. I had a great Tuesday night, and it felt like a weekend. I was just telling my friend, it just felt like a freaking weekend. And I guess that's what happens when you're having a good time. Like, and it's not obviously it's not every day. And I know there was a joke, on Instagram. One of our friends was like, "Oh my God, guys, what the fuck? It's a Tuesday." Like, bitch, duh. What you think we doing? Okay, we live in life. Okay, YOLO. No, it's not. I mean, like I said, it's not every day. It's just, there's just some days where we sort of sync. My friends and I, we just sort of on the same page, and we're like, well, we work really hard for, for what we get, like, or what we want. We work hard for what we want, and it's not like, dude, we're going out to have food and drinks, dude. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel guilty for doing that. It's not like we're splurging like crazy. It's just, food and drinks, which is part of the experience, right? So it's the experience, but obviously we're paying for the food and drinks, which adds to the ambiance, or it just adds to the experience, to the good times that we're having. It's all about positive energy, good vibes, and and just sometimes it happens to be on a freaking Tuesday, and that's how it felt like. So it sort of feels like a weekend, but it is a Tuesday, and I guess in a way it's also like a much needed break, right? When it comes to adulthood, so. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to have a really good time, because you're having a really good time. But that just makes us feel incredibly more, just more grateful and more appreciative of what we are capable of doing, and the options that we have, and the choices that we have, the privileges that we have, and dude, let's just take advantage of that, because we do work hard for it. So I'm practicing that. I'm trying to be better when it comes to giving myself credit, because we work hard, and there's still plenty of hard work left. At least for me, less than a year, a lot of things will change. I'm excited for that, but I don't fast forward anything. I don't look into the future for too. I don't dwell on it, whether it's the past or the future. So I'm like focusing on, in the moment right now. But I'm just looking forward to it. It's looking forward to something is obviously, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing when you have something to look forward to, even if it is, uncertainty, right? At least there is something that you look forward to and excited for. You're sort of headed towards, there's a destination and you're just enjoying that journey. And that's what I'm doing right now. So that's a little quick recap of what the week has, the weekend sort of spilled into a regular old Tuesday night right before hump day. I don't think, Westworld, the latest season 4 just ended. I personally think it ended on a good note. But apart from that, no real, I guess, okay, that's not, I hope you guys didn't hear that. I should have this on silent. Apologies. So, what? Good God, hold on a second, guys. Man, come on, man. I'm recording a goddamn podcast. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. That was incredibly unprofessional. And this is definitely not live, so, really unprofessional. Back to the episode here. So where was I? Right, so, no noteworthy, movies or TV shows that I saw recently. Mainly because we're sort of gearing up to, tomorrow. I think the first episode of She-Hulk comes out on Disney Plus. It's the new Marvel show, of course. I'm just really excited to see Tatiana Maslany do her thing. She's just a great freaking actress. So I know she's not going to do anything wrong. There were some, early concerns about the TV show, with the CGI and things like that, and I get that. But some people have seen it. They have early screeners and they've liked it. They've, at least the first episode they appreciate it. And they were like, you know what, the initial concerns we've had, they took care of it. It's good so far. It's fantastic. Maslany is not. Maslany was never a concern. We know she's going to deliver. Fantastic actress. Okay, great actress. So that's covered. We're good. So I'm actually looking forward to that, to watching the first episode. And of course, Daredevil makes his first appearance in the Disney Marvel universe, not the Netflix, of course. He's coming here, and apparently it's not as gritty or raw as the Netflix one, which is basically rated R shit, adult shit. And now, they're kind of on Disney Plus. They gotta have to do a little, just tone it down a little bit, PG-13 kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope they do him justice, because Charlie Cox is as Matt Murdock, and playing Daredevil. He's just made for the role, and it's just fantastic. And I just hope he kills it. It's a cameo. It's not like he has he will have a significant role, but not a big role. I don't know. I'm assuming so. Hopefully that works out well. So looking forward to that. And of course, we're only really like 5 days away from, what's today? Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Sunday, next Sunday, the coming Sunday, it's Game of Thrones, prequel, right? House of the Dragon. So looking forward to that. That's going to be dropping on HBO. So lots to talk about there. So I'm looking forward to the next episode, which is kind of cool because it's, it's the 25 mark, here in the House of Moody Vintage podcast, quarter century. And why not start the quarter century with, reviewing the first episode of the new, Game of Thrones series, or the House of the Dragon, the Song of... this is not the Song of Ice and Fire. This is not the Song of Ice and Fire. This is before it. I have a lot of people are excited about it simply because, it's sort of in the same fabric of the original Game of Thrones series, and George R.R. Martin is heavily invested and very involved in this series, so got a lot of faith in that. And of course, there is the source material, which has already been written. It's from Fire and Blood, which I have read. It's not necessarily like a story saga kind of thing that you might have read in A Song of Ice and Fire with Game of Thrones. It's more of a history book, right? So that's how Fire and Blood was written by Martin. It's kind of like a history book. So they had that source material to play off of, and they just dramatized it for television. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. I think this is going to be a really, really, really damn good series. Probably up there. Maybe, from now we really can't say we may not have iconic characters like, Jon Snow, or Tyrion Lannister and things like that. But I'm telling you, there are characters in here that you'll definitely want to get to know more of, want to champion, want to see where it goes, because there's plenty of, a political intrigue and a lot of, the usual drama that you would expect from Westeros, right? So, but this is of course surrounded, revolving around the Targaryen bloodline. So it's going to be good. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. So stick around for that for sure. I'm excited to talk about that in the next episode. And then soon after, the Rings of Power from the Lord of the Rings. Looking forward to that as well. I get it. You may not have the same type of hype as Game of Thrones, because the Game of Thrones was sort of like more of a a phenomenon, really. Like, when it first came out and the whole freaking world was watching it, even people who didn't have HBO were watching it. It was the most, pirated TV show of all time. I just found that statistic to be, just crazy. Like, people would actually, they would actually, record that down. This is the most pirated show of all time, and rightfully so. I get it. But it just didn't have the same hype because, the Lord of the Rings, the books themselves, by Tolkien was, way before, decades before, George R.R. Martin, started A Song of Ice and Fire. So the movie itself also came out in the early 2000s, and, Oscar nominated or Oscar winning, trilogy. So that was in the early 2000s. So it may not have the same impact that, Game of Thrones will have, or the House of the Dragon will have. But I'm still hyped for it, man, because, I'm such a huge, a lot of maybe the younger generation are like Harry Potter fans. And understandably so. It's a great series. I haven't read the book, so I can't really speak on that. I have read, though, Little Lord of the Rings, and I've also read A Song of Ice and Fire. So I have a stronger connection to those properties than I have with Harry Potter. But although I did enjoy the films, the film series. So, but I'm also excited to see The Lord of the Rings. I really am. So looking forward to that for sure. So with that said, I wanted to sort of play off or kind of carry on what I was talking about in the last episode, right? How we went from puppy love and to more mature things, moving on and just trying to understand ourselves. When we move, it's kind of like the coming of age movies that we watch, and we relate to it simply because we've all one way or another have experienced that, right? So it's I've had a lot of people ask me, especially now being single and all that stuff, like, Moody, you gotta have your hoe phase. You gotta embrace your hoe phase. And I'm like, and I've mentioned this before, of course, my hoe phase was like in my early 20s, late teens, like all throughout high school. That was my hoe phase, I guess. And it wasn't even really a hoe phase because, like I've said before, I don't do hookups. You know what I mean? Well, according to my friends, it's on the contrary. But I've always sort of, and this is something I was explaining to my friend the other day about, like, Giacomo Casanova and how he's been misunderstood in history, where, he's been he's been seen as this philanderer, as this libertine, and guy would have just random affairs with married women all over Venice, but more so it's really about a man who just loved love, who loved the art of love, love making and loving the opposite sex. And well, I don't know, maybe he also did the same with the same sex. I don't know. Gender doesn't matter. The concept is he was a lover of love, and that's how I saw myself. Not necessarily obviously a libertine and having affairs with married women. That's a different story. That's probably something I would never talk about. Moving on. So basically, I'm not calling myself a Casanova. I'm just saying I have an affinity for love. And I just think it's but I'm also like I'm very much a monogamous guy. Like traditional, you know what I'm saying? In that sense, like having a relationship, one woman kind of dude. You know what I mean? I have a weird reputation now from certain people, which I don't understand. I don't know how it fucking developed. I don't know if it's written on my fucking head. I don't know. It's basically, it doesn't make sense because I don't look the part, right? So it wouldn't make sense to you, to anybody. Even me, I just don't know how, it doesn't enter my head. It's the whole like, it's the whole you don't want me around your girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want me around your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. Again, this is all conjecture, okay? It's some kind of thing, a fantasy, a fiction that people have written or something. And that's how I don't know if that's not how I come off of, I swear to you. I'm just really comfortable around women, okay? And I'm just, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything like that. It's just I've just always been comfortable around them, and I'm a good listener. I don't know, the the opposite sex find themselves to be comfortable around me because I know how to make people feel comfortable, and that's all there is to it. I'm not trying to get into nobody's pants, which I always found that odd. I have no hidden agenda, bro. Ain't nothing like that, I'm not fucking Trey Songz, Mr. Steal Your Girl, That's not me, dude. I'm not that dude. But apparently, when you play those stupid ass drunk games, those card games, and people say who's most likely to do this, most likely to do that, and I'm always the guy who had an affair with this person, or would have an affair with that person, or do this or do that, like all this mischievous sexual deviancy. Like, I'm not I'm not that guy, dude. I'm really not. I mean, I could be a freaking bed, but that's a whole different story. I'm talking about the perception that people have of me. I'm a diplomat, yes. I like to get along with everybody, yes. But I'm not trying to steal your girl, man. That's dumb. Unfortunately, I've had this problem since I was a youngin'. And I don't know. I get it. I get the insecurity, why some dudes would be like, yeah, you know what, man, my girlfriend likes you too much, bro. Like, y'all are too friendly. Y'all need to keep that distance. I don't like you around my girl, you know what I mean? Like, we cool and all that stuff, we homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Like, we been chill ever since we was like in diapers and shit, but and baby bottles and shit, but I got a girl now, you gotta keep your distance, cuz. And I don't know why I got hood there, but I grew up in the suburbs. But I do have friends in downtown LA, which is not the same downtown, apparently. It's gotten worse. I would not move back to LA. Anyways, just going off a tangent there. Yeah, ever since I was in California, I've had that sort of like, that, I mean, that's how dudes would be insecure. I don't know. That's their insecurity, because I promise you, bro, I'm not trying to do nothing or steal anything. That's so dumb, Yes, I steal hearts because that's who I am, a master thief of hearts. That's what I do. That's what I try to do. But, I've had my ex-girlfriends admittedly tell me that, first of all, I apparently have too many female friends, which is a problem. And, that I'm easy to talk, that apparently I'm easy to talk to, and women love that and they find comfort in that. And so on and so on and so forth. So, I'm just, I'm not trying to do, there's nothing, there's no, malicious intent or nefarious reasons for me to engage or interact with a female, because that is society, right? Just because I'm friends with so many females, the natural assumption is he's hooking up with this girl or he's hooking up with that girl, or, this person has a husband, and, there's just so many insecurities being, just involved and gets mixed up in the whole thing. And you're like, dude, I'm just here to have a good time, man. I'm just here to have a good time, But I don't know how to shed that off. Maybe I need to start dating or something, or getting a proper actual relationship. But I don't do the whole dating thing because, I'm a little, like I said before, I'm a very old school dude, and I don't know how to go on about it. I wouldn't know how to go on about it just because, I'm old or something. I don't know. I'm not cool enough. I'm not that cool guy, that the whole, misconception of me being Rico Suave and shit. A modern day Casanova minus the fornication. I'm just not that guy. Just not that dude. But if I can be vulnerable a little bit here, I wouldn't mind getting into a relationship. I think about it every day. It's tough being alone. You know what I mean? Because we all need a companion. So am I actively looking for one? No. Should I? Maybe. But what's that going to get me? I think I'm just too focused on my career, which is, I get it. It's an excuse. So people use that as an excuse because of my they have insecurities. I have insecurities. Of course, everyone has insecurities. That's one of mine. Like starting from scratch, starting from, like I've mentioned so many times before on a previous episode about like heavily investing yourself emotionally. Can I do it again? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old for that. So it has to be like the right circumstances for me to go forward. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes and how that goes, because things have obviously changed. The internet has changed. Back in the day, my second girlfriend, since I did talk about my first girlfriend, the last one, first official one, because, apparently hooked up with girls I didn't know about. My second one was, I met her in a freaking, through a friend of hers, her best friend had a crush on me, but I ended up with, her friend, let's call her Casey. Okay. The girl I met online. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is before Facebook. I think MySpace was around at the time. It was like super new, but we had like the actual blogs. People had blogs, and there were, chat groups and, forums. This was back in the AOL days, AIM, America Online, instant messaging, back in those days. Okay. And then Microsoft came out with theirs later on. Messenger, of course, came out later, a little later than that. I think really like just soon after I met my second girlfriend who was Persian. Just delicioso, her mother was my favorite out of all my exes. Her mother was my favorite, mainly because she loved me like her own son. She adored me, and I love that because I adored her. The feelings were basically mutual, the respect, the love, the admiration. Her mom was, I hope she's doing well. I really do. And I always, there are certain individuals in your life that leave such a mark in your life, just this incredible impact that just sticks with you for the rest of your life. And she was one of those individuals. Her mom was just amazing. This single mother who raised her kid, an immigrant, and she was the not stereotype, the prototype sort of like, Persian beauty, you know. And don't get me wrong, my girlfriend was, of course, a very attractive, very pretty girl, but her mother was just different. Like, oh my God. And I adored her. I absolutely adored her. She adored me. And she just, like I said, she sort of treated me like her own son. And she was so comfortable having me around her daughter. I mean, there was so many times where I would hang out, with my ex at her place with her mother around, and her mother was totally cool because we had built that trust very quickly, very fast. And she always said, you're a handsome boy, you're respectful, da da da, I love you, and all this stuff. And it was just so cool. I don't think I was ever that close to at the time, who was a stranger initially, right? Not the people that I grew up with, not my own mother or not my aunts, or this person who I had a relationship with her daughter, but she sort of treated me like I was her own. It was so profound, and I love her to this day, and I really do I hope one day, sort of like, and I hope she's doing well and she's healthy and she's doing good, to meet her again one day, or get in contact with her somehow, one way or another. I don't know. We'll see. I really want to sort of convey that, because at the time I was too young to sort of convey that message to someone, especially an adult, who had such incredible influence on me. I know I started off with like saying like I wanted to talk about the story about how I met my second girlfriend, who I lost my virginity to. I was 17 at the time. She was 18. Hello, score. No, just kidding. But back to the wonderful mother who I had had her full trust and respect. Being comfortable around her daughter and whatnot. Thank you. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, I haven't said any names. So anyway, so back to my friend, okay, Casey. Not her real name. Again, my friend Casey. Now, we met online in one of those chat rooms, right? Back in the day. That's how we used to do it back in the day. In our, dial-up modem. Kids don't know nothing about that, boy. They know nothing about no AOL, no AIM, no chat rooms, ASL, and so I met Casey through that, and anyway. So we sort of like built up this relationship, this friendship. She started to have a crush on me. I didn't know until much later, when she would act a little strange. One day, her friend, who at the time was, who later became my girlfriend, let's call her Emily. Okay, Emily. All right. I know she's Persian, but again, privacy. So Emily. Okay. So Emily was over one day, and she was like talking in the background. I was like, "Hey, what's up, Casey?" And Casey's, talking, to me, and we're talking on the phone. On the phone, we're talking. Remember those days we were just talking on the phone? We wouldn't really text anything. Anyway, so, and she was like, "Yeah, my friend Emily's over. Da da da. She's my best friend and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Now at the time, right? I kind of knew that Casey liked me, but I wasn't too sure. Again, I was a kid. I was a fucking teenager. I didn't know any better. It was stupid ass kids. You know what I mean? It's stupid ass dudes, right? Guys are dumb. And anyway, so, well, especially the younger ones, stupid as shit. So I don't know. So one day, Emily just takes the phone from Casey, and we just started talking. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's up? Oh my goodness, you sound cute." She started flirting. I started flirting back. It was sort of one of those like, okay, like there was chemistry between us. There was fireworks, so to speak, right? So we were sort of on the same level when it came to pursuing each other and, flirting with each other. And of course, this did not settle well with Casey, right? So there were times where she would just, make any kind of excuses to, distance, create a distance between me and her best friend, right? Because she knew that all of a sudden she and I are getting along. And there were times where Casey would try to sabotage it, saying that, she's not good, she's this and that, and not a good, all this crap, basically trying to place a wedge. And I remember we had an argument one day, and then she basically admitted, her feelings for me and things like that. Well, and I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know this and that, but now Emily and I are in a relationship. That's my girlfriend now, so that's how we gonna go on about things. And there was a rift, obviously. After that, she accepted it. She kind of understood, as you would sort of expect or assume, and that's what happened. And that's how I met my second girlfriend. This was like the proper relationship, like the first proper relationship, not puppy love or anything like that. It's a proper relationship. Like I said, I lost my virginity to her, and it was just the next sort of level of a relationship, right? And Emily is just, again, I hope she's doing well. I'm gonna do some, internet sleuthing. I'm gonna be an internet sleuth, and trying to find her, because I really want to convey that message of like how much she meant to me, of course, and I mean, there's so many other like stories that I could talk about, but some of it, it's private. It could make for some good storytelling, but I'm reserving that for myself and my close friends. But there are certain things that I obviously cannot disclose. I don't think it's appropriate. Not that it's like nasty. It's just, someone's privacy. I don't want to put shit on blast. Even though this was like literally when I was like 17, 18 years old. And like I said, I might get to it. I eventually will get to it in like, future episodes, simply because, there was a time where I tried to move on, with someone else in a relationship. And then Emily came back into the picture. And then I sort of left this really good girl. Because, like I said, guys are dumbasses, especially when we're young. We're stupid. I left a very, very good girl and went back to Emily. And that didn't really last long because, her ex got involved. And this is the whole friggin' mess, right? I know, it's juicy. We'll bite into that in future episodes, I promise, bite into that. But, yeah, so clearly that didn't work out, I was with Emily for like about 11 months. It wasn't even a year, and we had to, it just got too crazy. She was also my first, like I've said many times before, how I have been plagued with Scorpios. Okay, I've had relationships with Scorpios, and whether it's a hookup or an actual relationship, they did not end well, as some of you may know. But she was like the first. You know what I mean? The first experience of, again, I don't believe in this horoscope shit, but I mean, how else do you explain it, dude? They're all Scorpios. They're all born around the same fucking time of the year. How am I supposed to explain that? Like, I don't know how, there's no other way to go on about that. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about now. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It has something to do with it, right? I don't believe in this horoscope shit, but she was the first. And then that's where all the pattern began. You know what I mean? That toxic shit. That crazy shit. It just happened. No, but I'm cool with, I am, well, except for one, like I've said before, I'm cool with all my exes, and I respect them greatly, with huge amounts of respect, immense amounts. Abundance of respect and love for them, for sure, and wish them nothing but the best, of course. But yeah, that lasted for like 11 months, and it was a period where it was on and off. It was my first ever heartbreak. Oh my god, my first heartbreak. She came back in the picture, tried to give it another shot, didn't work out because, again, story of my life. Homeboy shows up, and I was like, oh hell no. I'll tell you what happened. Okay, very quickly, very briefly, before we close up this episode, because I want to give you guys a little cliffhanger, okay? So you can come back for more next week. With next week's going to be packed, by the way. So, we got Game of Thrones and all that other crap. Not crap, good stuff. But I will definitely, I'm beginning this sort of, this series, right? And I started off with Paula Abdul, and it just felt kind of appropriate, Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? And that's the state I was in at the time, when I got back with Emily after breaking up with this amazing woman. I'm stupid. Anyways, we're still cool, thank God. She's a very close friend of mine now. But anyway, so she made me feel guilty for moving on and like getting another relationship, whatever. When this entire time, homegirl was hooking up with her ex-boyfriend, who apparently she stopped talking to. You gonna lie to me, motherfucker? I don't know. Sorry, my Bernie Mac just came out there for a second. And that's what happened. And I found out, and I was like, oh, hell no. You gonna do me like that? Anyways, broke things off, and then moved on to another girl came in the picture. That's a series. 2 years of on and off fucking mayhem. Okay, a drama for a mama. Again, no, I don't hold anything against her, and again, she's a very close person. She's basically family to me now, and we are family basically. But you know, we were young, we were stupid, did dumb shit, and I'm gonna keep that for the next episode. How about that? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna wrap it up here in the House of Moody Vintage, episode 24, the podcast. Thank you for listening, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you can, I really appreciate it if you go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give me, I don't think Spotify does that, but I think Apple definitely does that. Give me a 5-star. Give me a good rating. Just push it up a little bit. And if you're listening to this for the first time, please do subscribe to this podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and of course on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for the support. I really, really do appreciate it. This has been fantastic. I'm running out of time at the moment, but I just got really excited to do this episode today. So 2 weeks in a row, good, just positive energy, good vibes. That's what it's all about. Let's keep it rolling, and I hope that's how it is for the rest of the week going into next week. Okay, hope you'll have a wonderful week and a great weekend, and take care of yourselves, treat yourselves, you work hard for it. Okay, so be at your best. Until next time, take care. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.